Hello everyone, and today we're going to be finishing off Season 2 of our CG Open Invade tournament within Master Duel. Today we're going to be announcing the winners as well as reviewing some of the best games of each match from our final week of the event. So again, before we even get into the games, everyone who participated in the tournament did extremely well, and again, thank you very much to anyone who has participated, anyone in the Discord, as well as anyone who in general has subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much to everyone who is here. Again, if you would like to get involved either with the community or involved in these tournaments directly yourself, you can of course follow the link below to join the Discord. Our next event begins on the 20th of February. And it will be stretching on for 4 weeks after that. So if you want to get involved in Season 3 of the CG Open Invade, join the Discord before the 20th and let me know, and I can get you signed in. But if you're just around to watch the gameplay, if you're interested in some of the other content that we do, like our deck profiles and such, then again, just feel free to subscribe to the channel. That's more than enough if you want to show some support, and I definitely appreciate everyone who has. And if you do enjoy watching these games, then please do like the video. But without any further ado, let's get into our games. Alrighty, we've got our match between Seymour Butts and 6CZ42. Every time I try to say that, I feel like my tongue is about to twist. We've got the Virtual Worlds versus Phantom Knights. What an amazing matchup, honestly. Two really cool decks. Virtual World has pretty much always been, and probably always will be, to some extent, a rogue contender within the meta. We're going to go for the Raid of Aramasir here, bringing out our Adventure token plus our Fateful Adventure here. It is likely that our Phantom Knights are also playing the Adventure engine, but that is yet to be seen. We're going to open up with the Griffin Rider here, activating the Fateful Adventure to grab the Draco back from our deck. Then we're going to activate the effect of our Virtual World in hand, special summoning itself out to the field, adding the Roshi back to our hand from deck. Then we're going to resummon from the graveyard our Nyan Nyan, bringing out the Kyuubi Shen Shen. We're going to special summon out yet another one of our Virtual Worlds here. Then we're going to resummon from the graveyard. I believe that's the Lulu. I don't know them all by name just yet. But we're going to bring out Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. Beatrice then detaching material to send from deck to graveyard, artifact safe before synchro summoning into Baron de Fleur. So this is a somewhat intimidating board. Honestly, this is pretty rough. But we have a very solid hand here. Our opponent's going to go Beatrice here one more time. We're going to Ash Blossom the Beatrice, which is at least something here. Baron de Fleur are going to preemptively use its negate. Then we're going to impermanent. Now, again, the fact that it tries to use its negate there really doesn't matter too much to us because we were going to impermanent anyway. But it does mean our opponent does not get their Beatrice search, which is perfectly fine. Baron de Fleur goes to activate its effect, but it cannot. The plan here, which is a really cool plan, I absolutely love this by the way, they send from deck to graveyard to safe, then during the standby phase they swap the Baron de Fleur out to tag in the safe from the graveyard using this secondary effect here that rarely gets used, and then when the safe is summoned off of the effect of Baron de Fleur, locks the opponent out of the extra deck. That would have been disgusting had that have been allowed to go through. That was a bad usage of our Baron de Fleur negate for sure. We're going to bring out our Stained Greaves here, Foolish Burial, then sending our Ancient Cloak from deck to graveyard. Ancient Cloak banishing itself to grab our Boots from our deck. We're going to summon Boots out to the field before going into the Phantom Knights of Breaksword. We are going to use our Trap card, shuffling back 2 cards to target and destroy the Breaksword, but that is going to trigger the Breaksword's effect. It doesn't need to go to graveyard to activate its resummon effect. It just needs to be destroyed. So that still meets the condition. We bring out 2 Phantom Knight monsters from the graveyard, changing their levels by 1. Exceed summoning into the Raiders Knight. We all know where this is going. Exceed finally into the Arc Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Boots is going to add Fogblade to hand here, not that it matters. Arc Rebellion Exceed Dragon activates its effect to detach a material, negates the effects of all other monsters on the field, and gains attack points equal to their total attack points, boosting himself up to 13,300, swinging into the Shen Shen for 10,500 points of damage, and that is game. An absolute swift decision made by the Arc Rebellion Dragon, and that was just really cool. I'm a massive fan of the Arc Rebellion Dragon, so I had to get this game in here. That was dope. But it was a very well played match from both sides. It was a 2-0 victory here to Seymour Butts over 6C, but it was very well played by both players. And again, thank you very much. So this was their duel in the final round of the match, and you know what? What a way to have it go out. Let's get into the next game. Alright, we've got Silmill up against Ace next. Code Talkers versus Gene Raiders, which is absolutely cool. Are these Gene Raiders? Generators? I'm going to go with Gene Raider. Gene Raiders, the way these guys set up is basically as soon as they have this field spell, it's GG's. It's going to be very difficult for our Code Talkers to try and get over this, but Code Talkers are known for having a lot of gas and being able to completely empty an opponent if they're going second. So we're going to have to wait and see here. We are going to go Math Mech Sigma right off the bat here. We're going to tribute off one of our monsters, Lobter Shadow of the Gene Raider bosses. Our opponent's then going to go tribute their Condemned Witch. I believe you can tribute the Condemned Witch to, what, summon another fairy? Yeah, from the deck, yeah. So you get to summon Lobter from deck anyway, but it does get negated, unfortunately, by the Call by the Grave, so we don't get to summon out another Gene Raider from a deck, which would have been ideal, but you know what, it is what it is. We still have a lot of resources on board here. We're going to bring out the Kachiri, linking 2 off into Code Talker, utilizing the Code Generator in hand, which is now going to send from deck to graveyard a Microcoder, which is an interesting choice. They're going to add another Microcoder from deck to hand here. I'm not sure if that was just some sort of misclick or misplay, or if they already potentially have Dotscaper and Grave. They probably should have sent a Dotscaper, but they're going to grab the Cynet Codec off of their Microcoder anyway, and from here, it is absolutely gas from the Code Talkers. We're just going to get going. We're going to bring out Code Talker inverted now. Cynet Codec then is going to trigger to search our deck for a light Cyberse monster. In Code Talker inverted then summoning from hand our Ibli. Ibli is a bit of an extra deck lock here, at least it locks your opponent out of special summoning monsters apart from Link summoning, which is pretty good, although it's not too great going second, of course. We're going to go into our update jammer, and we can see here that our Code Talkers already have game in mind. They are already gunning to finish off our Gene Raider player here. Gene Raiders not having the greatest of hands. All your level 9 monsters with Gene Raiders are completely dead in hand. You only want to see them in your deck, so it's unfortunate that we see so many of them in our hand. We're going to bring out the Access Code Talker, activating its effect first, then Cynet Codec, then Update Jammer. Obviously the chain order on this is a little bit wrong. The Access Code Talker should be Chain Link 3, but it is what it is. We're going to boost ourselves up to 53, but not before getting hit with the Forbidden Droplet. Forbidden Droplet pitching 2, including the Ibli that he gave us to reduce our opponent's monsters' attack points all the way down, negating their effects for the rest of this turn. That is, at the very least, going to buy us quite a lot of time. So we're at least getting until our next round, bringing out the Tri-Gate Wizard. Access Code Talker is going to attempt to banish one to pop, but again, it's not going to work. So they are simply instead going to attack over these monsters. Remember, it still gets that double attack, so they're going to deal quite a lot of damage here to Ace, but we're hanging on with 3,400 life points. We are still in this game. We top deck into the Condemned Witch, which is a pretty decent card. We get to search our deck for the Forbidden Chalice, which we set face down. This should give us another turn here up against the Access Code Talker. We'll just have to wait and see. We're going to bring out Har Generator Boss of Storms here, which is normally an Omni Negate against most decks. You tribute 2 of your tokens here to negate the activation of an opponent's card, but the Access Code Talker cannot be responded to. We need to preemptively negate it if at all possible. We're going to bring out Mardell. Mardell's going to grab the Generator Boss Quest from our deck, which will recycle some of our cards, but unfortunately we don't activate the Forbidden Chalice in time. What we should have done here is activate the Forbidden Chalice to stop it from popping off, but unfortunately we simply cannot do so apparently. Yeah, it is what it is. Our opponent's just going to get popping. Access Code Talker firing round after round. They're going to swing into our remaining tokens, bringing us down to 1,100 life points. Code Talkers walking all over the Gene Raiders here, but it's not over just yet. We have one more turn. We still have 1,100 life points. Not a good top deck, but the Boss Quest is going to help that quite a little bit. We're going to show off. We're going to grab a couple of our Gene Raider cards directly to our hand from our deck. The Boss Quest is pretty brutal. So what it does, you can shuffle back one of your Gene Raider monsters in hand to grab 2 Gene Raider cards from your deck, which is absolutely sick. And it helps you, basically, it prevents you from breaking on these guys, at least to an extent, of course. If you open up 3 of them, it's not great. But it means that you can shuffle them back, recycle them for useful cards, and generally speaking, hopefully put yourself in the game. The fact that this Access Code Talker cannot be responded to is absolutely killing us here. Our Har cannot do anything against the Access Code Talker, and because we generate all of our advantage on our opponent's turn, we can't summon these tokens in defense. It means that this guy's really giving us a very hard time here. We're going to banish Tri-Gate from Graveyard. We are once again going to have our Har pop, but we are going to replace our field spell with another one, forcing both players to draw, forcing the opponent to draw a card, so we can summon out Hela. Hela then's going to tribute a token to attempt to revive the Har. We're going to use our Boss Room, which will basically discard a card in order to change the opponent's monster's effect to both players draw one card. So now he no longer negates us. We both get to draw one, and we're going to bring Har, Generator Boss of Storms, back from our graveyard with the effect of Hela. Spinning Eye is going to boost up the attack of our Access Code Talker by 500. Again, looking at the board, it is looking very grim for our generators here, because even with the effects of their powerful generator monsters, it's not going to help them if their tokens are sitting there helpless like that. We're going to go into Trans Code Talker here, boosting up and protecting our Access Code Talker from being targeted by effects, bringing out the Code Talker before going in finally to the Fire Wall Dragon. Access Code Talker getting one more pop off, taking out Hela before going into the battle phase. 1000 over one token, and then finally finishing off the game 1300 over one of the remaining tokens, meaning Code Talkers walk away with the win. So generators, not what I was expecting in the final round of the tournament. Yes, showing up here with heat every single round. Unfortunately, on this occasion, it didn't work out for him. But I can applaud the attempt nonetheless. Silmill, of course, walking out, using Code Talkers in every round of the event, walking out with clean wins back to back. You'll love to see it. Both players doing very well, not only in this round, the final round, but in every round throughout the event so far. Very well done to both sides.
Alright, getting into the match between myself and Range Driver here is going to be Branded Thunder Dragons against Furion Sky Strikers. A very good matchup here. We're going to start off with Alibur, the Jester of Despia, searching our deck for Branded Fusion, which is going to resolve, bringing out Albion, the Branded Dragon here. Albion itself, however, is not going to resolve thanks to Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Now, Albion, the Branded Dragon, would have been able to banish 2 guards from our graveyard to Fusion summon out Lubellion by banishing our Thunder Dragon Dark, which would have given us a Mirror Jade as well as a Thunder Dragon Colossus. We're going to discard our Thunder Dragon Dark to add back our Roar, to add back our Dark, which we can now Tribute Summon and then sacrifice to go into Thunder Dragon Colossus anyway. So we're at the very least able to get our Colossus onto the field with some Thunder Dragon Fusion in hand to either be discarded or for some follow-up. So we're going to set Branded in red now to our field as well. So while we didn't get exactly everything we would have wanted, this isn't the worst of situations either. Thunder Dragon Colossus is of course a bit of a headache for most Sky Striker situations, so they're going to go for Hayate then. Hayate inflicting 1500 and sending Linkage to the graveyard, which is a very interesting choice. We're going to go for Zeke now. Zeke, when someone's going to try and banish our Colossus, we are going to hit that with an impermanence. We want to keep our Colossus around for just a bit longer. We don't want him doing anything fancy there. Then I believe, yeah, so Furion King Regulus comes out next. Furion King Regulus is of course a bit of a pain, because now that gives him an additional Omni Negate on top of anything else he might have. So he's going to simply set 2 now and pass. So again, at the minute, Sky Striker's currently in control of the game with that Furion. It's going to be a bit of a headache to get rid of. We're going to take out the Zeke here. Ray's going to resummon itself back to the field. We'll swing at the Ray, but of course it's going to sacrifice itself to bring out a Kena. Kena then stopping our Colossus from attacking, so we're simply going to set 1 and pass. Now here we have a pretty significant misplay coming up here from myself, so we're going to go into Hayate here, into the battle phase. We activate Branded in red. This was for sure the wrong play, and even at the time I was kicking myself. We should have gone for Infinite Impermanence first to negate the Furion, and then gone into Branded in red. So really sort of big misplay from us there, but it is what it is. You just got to keep going with it. So Branded in red does in fact get negated. You're going to swing with Hayate another 15, gradually chipping away at the life points, while this time sending an Engage to graveyard. They are going to be able to negate and steal our Colossus, so whenever they use their Kigiri to go into their Engage from the graveyard, they should be able to resolve it without hassle. So we're going to target that Engage, but we are going to hit it with an Impermanence. We don't really need to be dealing with that at the moment. An Engage is only going to give him even more advantage, which you can't really afford right now. He is of course going to link off our Colossus into a second Zeke before linking Zeke off into Shizuku. So now we're pretty much left with nothing. This is a very tough situation for us to win here. We are going to Ash Blossom this Shizuku because, again, with the life points and card advantage situation, we sort of figured that this is probably going to be our last turn. So we want to make it count. We top deck in the Thunder Dragon Dark, which isn't the best, but you know what? It at least has some value. Shuffling back our entire Thunder Dragon collection to summon out our Titan. Titan then swinging in 13 over the Shizuku. Ray, of course, summoning itself back out to the field. We're going to go to end phase here. Ray is going to activate its effect during the end phase to bring out Kigiri. In response to Kagiri, we are going to activate our Thunder Dragon Dark now to attempt to pop a card off of our Titan, but he has the Shark Cannon set. For anybody who doesn't know how Thunder Dragons work, Titan is not a... he's not a trigger effect, he's a quick effect, which means that your opponent does get priority after you activate your Dark in order to respond, so it can be chain blocked, unfortunately. So Titan does not resolve, does not get its pop, and now it doesn't even get to stick around because it gets tributed off for the Sky Striker Hamp. Hamp then gets stolen back off of the Widow Anchor. That's 25, that's 21, only 42 left, and that is game. So that gives a 2-1 victory to Range Driver. All 3 rounds were real slugfest, to be honest. They were pretty long duels, really back and forth, and you know what, some of the best that we've had in this competition. To be honest with you, the whole way through this competition, there's been a lot of opponents who have been giving me some of the best duels I've ever had in this game. And that's one of the best parts of the CG Open Invite, being able to go up against some really good players, and then being able to use some really fun strategies as well. So you know what, excellent game from our friend here, Range Driver, who has performed admirably throughout the entire event, as well as even Season 1 of the event. He was our Season 1 champion, so again, very well done. Already getting into a match between ICU and Narif. It's going to be Blue Eyes versus Eldritch here, so a very clear differential in the power level of these two decks. But our Blue Eyes players opening up strong, going straight into the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon off of their Melody Search, already having Chaos Form in hand, sacrificing the Blue Eyes White Dragon to bring out their untargetable, indestructible 4K beatstick, the Chaos Max Dragon. A pretty solid start. It's not the easiest card to get rid of, especially for things like Eldritch, but that skill drain is definitely going to be a problem later on. We're going to go for reasoning here and pitching cards from the top of our deck to the graveyard until we eventually hit a Golden Lord. The Golden Lord coming out into defense here. And now they're going to activate the Black Awakening and Grave, setting the Guardian to the field. Going to set our Haquero, as well as activating Conquistador in Grave to set a Scarlet Sanguine as well. So we've got a stacked back row, as well as the Necronase in hand for some follow-up. They're going to summon out the Levianeer. Upon the summoning of Levianeer, we're going to go for the Scarlet Sanguine, which is going to be negated by the Ash Blossom. And finally, we're going to chain our Skill Drain. So Skill Drain means the effects of all monsters on the field are now currently negated, removing the protection of the Chaos Max Dragon, which means it can now be targeted, leaving it vulnerable to things like the Guardian's effect, reducing its attack points to 0. Haquero coming out to banish a card from the graveyard as well. Chaos Dragon Levianeer getting a decent shot in here, wiping out that Guardian, and then passing turn. So it's not looking too great for our Blue Eyes players here. We're going to go Scarlet Sanguine, banishing it from the graveyard to set to the field our Golden Land forever, giving us an Omni Negate. We're going to go Reasoning once again. We're going to hit cards from the top of our deck to the graveyard until we once again hit a summonable monster, which will either be a Golden Lord or anything else that we might be playing. Just continually milling cards, all of which are going to be useful in the graveyard later, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Although our deck is looking kind of thin, we're getting really close to the bottom of it here. Running out of cards really fast. All 3 of our extravagance to the graveyard. There goes a card of the Demise. And finally, we hit a Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Lord of Heavenly Prison comes out. Then we're going to Zombie Necronise, stealing the Levianeer. The Elixir is, of course, going to summon out another Golden Lord. And then we're going to go to battle. 3k over the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. 25 with the Golden Lord. And then 3k to finish it with the Lord of Heavenly Prison. So a solid attempt from our Blue Eyes players here, but again, that was just an overwhelming matchup. The Eldritch is simply too powerful. It would have been a very difficult uphill battle to win that one, but again, performed admirably. Going for the Chaos Max Dragon off the bat is normally a pretty difficult thing to get rid of. Definitely a very cool play to see the Chaos Max making another appearance in the event, which is amazing. It just wasn't quite enough to secure the win on this occasion, but again, better luck next time. Well played by both players. Already getting into game between here, Kaiba Groper versus Technomania, Ancient Gears against Zombies. So again, a bit of a stacked matchup here. This is going to be an uphill battle from our Ancient Gears, but we are going to be bringing out our Howitzer, which is unaffected by card effects and can inflict a little bit of damage here. So we're taking an early lead with the Howitzer, as well as having a Maxi to back it up. So unless they're going to try and get over this without battle and without special summoning, then it looks like it's going to be sticking around for this turn. Looking at our zombies hand here, without special summoning, this hand is going to be a little bit rough. Unizombie then is going to activate its effect to pitch Glow Up Bloom from deck to graveyard. It is going to banish itself, and it is going to summon at least once, summoning out the Spiridow, which will mill out the Ballardrock, and then we're going to Synchro Summon into the Red Eyes Dragon Lord, which will be big enough to take out the monster, giving our Ancient Gear player 2 draws here, but not too much more advantage. They are able to summon out their Ancient Gear Wyvern, which will grab them Box will grab them Ancient Gear Frame, so they're generating a good amount of advantage off of this Max C play at the very least. So now they're going to draw. They get 6 cards in hand, which is pretty damn solid. We're going to go Ballardrock, summoning itself out to the field. We're going to set a card, activate Catapult Engrave. Catapult Engrave is going to pop the Ancient Gear Wyvern to replace it with a token. We're going to summon out our Ancient Gear Frame. Frame's going to pitch Catapult, but it cannot activate its effect this turn, unfortunately. The Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord is going to revive the Spiridow, which will trigger off the Ballardrock. Ballardrock going to banish the Ancient Gear Frame, the Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord. That's a lot of words in that name, I'm going to be real. Summoning out the Spiridow from the graveyard. Spiridow having the ability to mill out another monster from deck, but are we going to do so? Yes, we are. Sending the Mad Mauler Unizombie then activating as well, pitching the Gozuki. Gozuki activates, banishes a zombie from grave to summon another one from hand, triggering off our Ballardrock to once again banish a monster. Banishing the only remaining line of defense here in the form of that token, summoning out our Skeletal Dragon Felgrand, banishing the Wyvern from the graveyard. We're just banishing everything up in here. Now we go 28 to the face, 28, and finally 28. All 3, and that is just enough for lethal here. So again, like I said, it would have been a pretty uphill battle here for Ancient Gears. They did fight valiantly. Their second duel was significantly longer. It was a 2-0 victory here for our zombie Kaiba grouper player. So very well done to both sides. Again, love seeing Ancient Gears in the event. I do really like seeing them. It just wasn't the greatest of situations for them here in this duel. Zombies is a pretty hard matchup for them to beat, considering all the banishment and the type changing and everything. It's pretty rough. But again, even zombies themselves are also really cool to see. So very well done to both players. And yeah. Alright, getting into the match between Yeetus and Ro here. So we're going to be playing Earth Machine up against Dragon Maid. So this is going to be an interesting matchup here. Earth Machine's then going into Gear Frame, then Uniclasp. Bringing out the Brutal Dozer here by tripling off the Gear Frame. Brutal Dozer is going to summon out another Infinitrack from the deck. Then we're going to exceed off into Infinitrack River Stormer, which is able to grab any Earth Machine monster from your deck and add it to your hand. We are going to go for Fortress, ditching up the rest of our monsters here to summon it out. Now we're going to revive the Anchor Drill that we just discarded, and we're going to pass turn. We didn't have any level 4 exceeds or links, I suppose, we wanted to go into at this point. We are going to go Dragon Shrine, dumping the chamber from deck to grave. Then we're going to go World Legacy Guard Dragon to revive that chamber right back to the field to use its effect to grab Dragon Maid Hospitality. Now we're going to go Dragon Maid Changeover, fusing together 2 of our Dragon Maids to bring out our Dragon Maid Xiao at 3500 attack. We're going to go Raigeki now, clearing the board, which is absolutely massive. Still having the Xiao on board. They go to activate Citadel, Citadel bringing itself out to the field, but even though it is big, it is not big enough. We are going to swing over it and take it out. Citadel posing 0 threat to our Dragon Maid Xiao. Of course, we do have the Lightning Storm in hand here. Lightning Storm is going to be able to force the Xiao to activate its effect, or it's just going to take it out. It's not even going to activate its effect. Now we're going to ditch our level 10 Earth Machine to summon out our Machina Fortress, attacking directly for 2500 points of damage. So we're going to need to see if our Dragon Maids can pull something out here. Looks like they've got Return of the Dragon Lords, bringing back their Tin Heck from the graveyard. 2700 attack makes it big enough to swing over the Fortress. Fortress then would target the Tin Heck to take it out. They're going to activate Citadel as well. Citadel will revive itself anytime an Earth Machine is destroyed, bringing itself back out to the field at 3000 attack points, making it very difficult for our Dragon Maids to get over without their Xiao. Now, depending on what we top deck, this may be it. We draw into an Ash Blossom, which unfortunately does not give us the ability to push for lethal here. We're going to swing for 3k and then pass once again. So Dragon Maids have got one last shot to make this work. They draw into Changeover, which unfortunately doesn't do an awful lot for us on this occasion. We're going to top deck into Furion King Regulus on the off chance that that face down card is in fact something. We're going to summon out Regulus, giving us an Omni-Negate, swinging directly to finish the game. So a valiant effort from our Dragon Maid player. They tried their best, maybe one or two things that could have been improved on there, could have Shi-Out the Lightning Storm, but apart from that, again, very well played, solid attempt. Earth Machines, however, simply being too powerful, too aggressive, and that recursion on the Citadel and the Fortress is very difficult to win against. Again, that's a very solid grind game that they have there. So yeah, again, very well played from both players. It was a 2-0 victory here to Yidis over Row, but once again, very well done to both players. And there we have it, the last of the games we're going to be seeing from Season 2 of the CG Open Invite. Again, once again, congratulations and well done to everyone who has participated. It has been an absolute blast recording all of this, as well as interacting and engaging with a lot of our participants. So our top 3 finishes here, we can see at first place we've got Rainstriver, and second place we've got Silmill, both on 1601 points. Rainstriver did pull ahead slightly with our tiebreaker formula, and then we've got Tyson 10 in third with 1500. All 3 are already receiving their prize support, which is absolutely amazing. If you want to see how the prize support is divvied up or participate in these events yourself, of course there is the Discord, which makes everything very clear, lays it all out, and if you ever want to get involved, you can of course simply message me on there directly and I will send you up. But yeah, again, it's just been an absolute blast recording all of this, doing all of this, engaging with the players, participating myself in the event, and seeing some of the really amazing strategies that a lot of these players can come up with. And I look forward to the event only growing in size and getting bigger as we continue to build a channel in general. Everything we're doing is getting bigger, more subscribers, more Discord members, more everything. And you know what? Thank you so much to anyone who has been involved and is continuing to show their support until now. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.